18,000 feet over Bavaria, February 1944. Smoke from the wrecked buildings plumed towards the B-24 Liberator Dixie Flyer as it lines up for its bombing run, pocked by bursts of flak. Unleashing its payload, the Liberator is rocked by an explosion, nearly knocking the lead officer from his seat. Through the smoke, he sees all of Germany below, a massive hole blasted inches from his feet. Hydraulics damaged and low on fuel, Dixie Flyer limps home to England. This marked the 10th mission for the group commander. He'd lead 10 more in one of the war's most dangerous jobs, flying bombers. But the missions took their toll. Still charmingly boyish at the start of the war, he turned gaunt and gray, and yet flying as a bomber boy during World War II was the proudest achievement of Jimmy Stewart's life. It's speculated that Stewart suffered from what is now understood as post-traumatic stress while filming his first role after the war, portraying George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. On July 4, 1942, 6 bombers launched a low-level raid on German airfields in Holland, the first combat for the United States 8th Air Force. The first true test came August 17th, a high-altitude mission to hit a marshalling yard in France, a smashing success. German Me-109 fighters fleeing the never-before-seen American B-17 flying fortresses, guns bristling from every angle. 12 bombers out, 12 bombers in, as the cheering ground crews swarmed the Baby Doll, the Peggy D, and the Heidi Ho as they touched down. It was a cakewalk, said Walt Kelly of the Heidi Ho. We were cocky when we took off, and more so when we landed. It would never again be so easy. September 6th, returning from a bombing run, a swarm of German fighters struck. B-17 pilot Paul Tibbets watched helplessly as the Fortress flown by his friend Paul Lipsky disintegrated as it fell to the earth. Up to now, the war was a game to us, Tibbets wrote. That's how stupidly inflated our confidence was until we watched Paul's plane spin out of control and burst into a ball of flame. The scene played out time and again in the months to come. Next to serving on a German submarine, flying aboard an Allied bomber proved the most dangerous job of the war. In October 1943, fewer than 1 in 4 would complete their tour of duty, 25 missions. By war's end, the 8th Air Force's 26,000 fatal casualties would exceed those of the entire United States Marine Corps. And yet, the bomber boys still flew. Suiting up, they ascended into the substratosphere in bitter cold temperatures well below zero. Hours of quiet, then moments of terror, hurtling through walls of hot metal protected by an aluminum fuselage so thin one could puncture it with a screwdriver. For those who survived, the mission didn't end at touchdown. There was the post-mission interrogation, the debriefing. There he must go through it all over again, remembering everything in detail, one flyer said. Whiskey was standard issue to calm frayed nerves. 1944 witnessed the introduction of a new fighter, the P-51 Mustang, with the range to accompany bombers deep into Germany. And the mighty 8th was assigned a new commander, the most acclaimed aviator alive and leader of the war's most legendary raid, Jimmy Doolittle. Armed with the P-51, Doolittle ordered a new primary objective for the mighty 8th: destroy the Luftwaffe. When German pilots rose to attack the bombers, Doolittle granted his fighters free rein to seek and destroy them anywhere and everywhere. The morning of June 6, 1944, the English Channel filled up with ships. Hardly an enemy plane could be found along the coast of Normandy. The Hun never showed up, one Allied war planner noted of the Luftwaffe on D-Day. He couldn't because he had nothing left. The slog across Europe in 1944 and 45 would make legends of many young Americans, Patton's tankers, the battered bastards of Bastogne. But the first Americans to take the fight into Germany had been the bomber boys of the 8th Air Force, who accepted the war's most dangerous missions and became masters of the air.
I'm afraid I'm a little out of practice at this appearing before the camera. About 3 years ago, the first day I got into the Army, I was asked to make a statement for the newsreels. And as I remembered, I said, I'm very proud to be here, and I'm going to do my best to be useful as a soldier in the United States Army. Well, that statement still goes, except that now I have my own outfit, the Heavy Bombardment Group. So we are very proud to be here, and we're going to do our best to be useful as soldiers of the United States Army. Thank you.